UPod Street is an official affiliate of Birdland Sports. Visit birdlandsports.com/UPodStreet, and 10% of your order will go directly to supporting the pod. Use code UPodStreet at checkout, and you'll get 10% taken off your order. Now sit back, relax, and keep that beer cold, because it's on to UPod Street. All right, welcome to UPod Street. As always, I am Jimmy Horn. Joining me, as always, is Jack Bain. Jack, what did you do for Mother's Day today?
I coached baseball. Sorry, Mom.
Well, did you win at least?
Made it to the championship. Dude, this team I was coaching were insane. There's these 8th graders that were like 6'5", 6'4". We had 3 kids go yard, like 350 down the line. It was insane.
Where was – so this isn't the normal group that you coach?
No, yeah, I was just kind of filling in this weekend, and it was nutty.
So it was worth it disappointing your mother on Mother's Day?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, it's okay because the Orioles had 36,000 people in the stadium today, and they all left disappointed as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into that in just a second. Jack, do you have notes from around the league?
Just kind of a standings update. Another really crazy week, so I apologize for a lack of news. In the AL East, the Rays are now 20 games above 500 with a plus 120 run differential.
And that included 2 losses to the Yankees.
Yeah. I mean, they're 5 out of their last 10, so they're cooling down a little bit in theory.
They are human.
Yeah. Orioles are in second at 26-14, followed by the Toronto Blue Jays 24-16, followed by the Red Sox at 22-18, and rounding out the bottom of the AL East is the New York Yankees at 23-19. All of the teams in the AL East, again, still above 500, and all had a 500 or better last 10 games.
What's wild about that is, wouldn't the Yankees be first place in almost every division in baseball other than the AL East? Like, I think only the NL East. Okay.
No, they actually wouldn't be first in any division.
Really?
Nope.
What a shame. What a shame for New York.
All the teams in the AL East do have a positive run differential, however.
Well, I guess when all of the teams are above 500, that's to be expected.
Yeah. AL Central, the Twins still atop, 23-18, followed by the Cleveland Guardians, 3.5 games out at 19-21. And then the Tigers, who have had a pretty good stretch of games here recently, are at 18-21, starting to turn the ship around.
Tigers good against everyone but the AL East.
Yeah, seriously. Chicago White Sox 14-28, followed by Kansas City Royals at 12-30. Over in the American League West, Texas has extended their lead over the Astros with a very solid last 10 games, taking 7 of their last 10, followed by the Houston Astros. Astros are at 21-19. They are 4 games back from the 25-15 Rangers. The LA Angels still above 500 in mid-May. They are 21-20 before their trip to Opacity, followed by the 500 Mariners at 20-20, and the poor Oakland A's, who still have yet to win 10 games.
Ooh, I didn't realize it was that bad.
9-33.
I saw a video today of someone at the Coliseum with like 12 people in the stadium with like 20 minutes to go to game time, and ushers were still checking people's tickets to make sure they were sitting in the right seat.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, right. That's
Oh,
wild. And
that's
they
miserable.
had this weekend they had a tailgate where they threw tomatoes at pictures of the owner, the MLB commissioner, and someone else. I forget who the other person was, but yeah, Oakland not happy with the way that the A's are playing or the fact that they're going to Las Vegas.
Oakland, down bad.
Yeah.
In the National League, the Braves have dropped 4 in a row, but the NL East was not able to capitalize that much. The 25-15 Braves have a 5-game lead over the 500 20-20 Phillies, followed by the Miami Marlins at 20-21, who I might add are a half a game out of a wild card spot, which is really fun. They just recently called up the first player to be born in 2003.
Do you feel old yet?
Not as old as you.
Okay, well that's a cheap shot. I felt old because I'm older than Manny Machado, so when Manny Machado came up, I felt old.
Well, I am older than Yuri Perez, but
So there you
that's
go.
crazy. He
Did
had a
did did Jazz Chisholm did he hurt himself? There was that play at the wall where he ran into the wall or something.
He might have. I wouldn't be surprised. That guy plays 110% every game.
He left the game. I didn't know if he left it for good. Like, was he on the IL or something? I didn't see an update.
Unsure. New York Mets, 20-21. All that money.
All that money.
Oh, that much, dude. They just can't. They haven't even played more than 10 games against 500 opponents either.
It's wild that I think it was Friday night maybe that Justin Verlander pitched and he pitched really well, and everyone in Mets social media world was tweeting out that this is going to right the ship. This is finally going to be what does it. Like one start from your very highly paid, very old pitcher is what's going to right the ship for you. I don't know about that.
They have a lot of guys waiting in the wings, in the minors. Francisco Alvarez, he was kind of rushed up, but he's back down there now working some stuff out. And then another guy who's really, really not highly acclaimed, his name is Mark Vientos. He's been absolutely raking in AAA for the Mets.
You know who else they have? They have DJ Stewart. So,
oh my.
That's gonna be that's gonna be the story of the century when in the second half of the season, DJ Stewart comes up for the Mets and has like a 385 average and rights the ship for the Mets to propel them into the playoffs.
That's a first round pick, DJ Stewart.
That is absolutely.
The Mets are followed by the Washington Nationals at 17-23, which is kind of like that's being 17-23. It's telling about like what they have there, what they're building. So keep an eye on that. In the Central, Milwaukee Brewers have surpassed the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates dropped 8 of their last 10 games.
Would that be a Jack Bain quoted not good?
Losing 8 out of 10. Not good.
Oh, there it is.
Not good, pal. Not good, Pirates. Figure it out. Mitch Keller can't pitch every game for you. Anyways, they're followed by the Chicago Cubs, who are now under 500 at 19-21. Cincinnati, who beat Yuri Perez in his opening start.
Did you see the unveiling of the Cincinnati Reds City Connect jerseys?
Dude, I haven't seen them. I've been so busy, I haven't even seen them.
I'd give them a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10.
Here we
They're
go.
all black with
raw uncut footage of me reacting to the Reds City Connect.
Yeah.
All black. Interesting. Look, I have never liked baseball pants being black. So I like the tops. I wish that they had white pants.
I like that it says Cincy.
I really like the font and the hats. I
like their logo on the sleeve too. That weird like C that's like 4 lines or something. That's pretty cool. We'll talk about the Orioles City Connect later in the show.
Oh my. Yeah. Okay. I give you 5 out of 10 Reds for your City Connects. St. Louis Cardinals 15 and 25. Struggling.
Ran into some Cardinals fans today.
Oh, what'd they have to say?
Well, they were wearing Orioles stuff, and they said that they were rooting for the Orioles because they wanted the Pirates to lose.
Fair enough. The Cardinals are having they don't have anybody pitch baseball. There's turmoil. It's like a reality TV show over there right now.
They can't seem to get it together, and they're all pointing fingers at whose fault it is.
At Wilson Contreras.
Yes.
Poor guy. In the NL West, the Dodgers are looking like the Dodgers of old. And boy, do they have a lot still waiting in the farm. They could be dangerous. They are 26 and 15, followed by the D-backs, 23 and 18.
Look out for those snakes, man.
Corbin Carroll is my hero. San Diego's at 19 and 22. They dropped 7 of their last 10. That is not
all
good.
that money. All that
good.
money.
Yeah, and they're going to re-sign Soto too,
which is going to be even more money.
Giants at 17 and 23. Rockies at 17 and 24.
Yo, did you see the benches clear today between the Rockies and Phils?
God, I missed a lot today.
I'll give you 3 guesses who started it, and you only need 1.
Were they on the Phillies?
Yes.
Is it Bryce Harper?
Yes.
What?
I don't know. There was some he popped, or he didn't pop out, but he had a fly out to end an inning where the Phillies had a chance to go up or something. Rockies pitcher chirped at him a little bit. He didn't take kindly at it. He basically charged the entire Rockies bench himself with his robot arm.
Bryce, you have half an arm.
Yeah.
Please.
It was funny because the replay of it I watched, the Phillies announcers were going, "Watch the arm, watch the arm."
Dude, what are you doing, Bryce? Take it easy. I think it's worth checking in on the wild card standings.
Okay.
Mid-May.
Let's
Why
do
not? In the AL, your division leaders, Tampa, Texas, Minnesota. And then in the wild card, your Baltimore Orioles have a 4-game advantage in the number 1 wild card spot right now.
Let's go. That's a home playoff series right there.
Yeah. Followed by the Toronto Blue Jays with a 2-game advantage, the Boston Red Sox, and the New York Yankees. All of the AL East teams could be in a playoff spot right now, but Boston holds a tiebreaker over New York, so New York technically isn't it.
I have been saying at the start of this whole season, I have been saying it's very likely that all 3 wildcard teams come out of the AL East. And I keep being reminded by people like, oh, well, they still got to play each other. Yeah, they do, but there's a balanced schedule. They don't play each other as much. So they're just beating the crap out of the rest of the MLB.
Yeah.
We could very easily see a 4-team AL East playoff race.
The only AL East series that's happening between teams in the AL East, the Yankees and Blue Jays in New York.
Yeah.
This week.
And we'll play the Blue Jays at the end of the week.
Yeah.
We go to Toronto at the end of the week. So we have 2 series in a row. Toronto at the end of this week and then New York at the start of next week.
Dude, and I know the Yankees are still playing good ball. Like they're still 23 and 19, but I wouldn't want to play the Baltimore Orioles right now. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Yankees are vulnerable.
In the NL, Arizona.
Judge is not being Judge right now. He hit his first home run the other day. He had a 2 home run day, which is Aaron Judge-esque, but it was his first home run since April 19th. So almost a month.
In the NL wild card, Arizona on top, the 2.5 game lead, followed by
All
Pittsburgh
right.
and Philly. I mean, what a joke the National League is this year, huh?
Yo, how about the Snakes?
Dude, I love the Diamondbacks.
I got
Love the
no hate for the
Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks, but I swear to God, if the Orioles and Diamondbacks meet in the World Series, all gloves are off, man.
Well, yeah, of course. So, big week in Orioles ball.
Big week in Orioles ball. Jack, we have been talking about leading up to this month about what a gauntlet this was going to be, and the Orioles, after that disappointing series in Atlanta, where we took a lot of silver linings from losing that series 2-3, we could have won that series very easily. Could have swept that series, if not for just a couple things. We went in this week to then play the best team in the AL and the best team in all of baseball right now, which is the Tampa Bay Rays, and did not start out great for the Orioles, who on Monday night would lose a game 3-0, and you really kind of sat there after the Orioles had that nine run Friday night last week, and wondered, where are the Orioles bats going? The fact that they just got shut out. Um, Kyle Gibson did have an okay start in this. I mean, he went 6 innings pitched, gave up 6 hits, only 2 runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. But here's a fun fact, Jack. This is a hard hitting belief of mine in baseball. You can't win if you don't score runs.
Jimmy, I might have to say that you are right on this one.
I was worried you were going to disagree with me and we're going to have a debate here, but I'm glad you
No,
agree.
no, yeah. To win a baseball game, you need to score runs. And I feel like, when you say that at the start of a game, it's like, oh, you gotta score anyways, and then you don't score. It's just
What
kind of
what I
demoralizing.
found amazing from this is, besides the fact that the Orioles struck out 13 times in this game, is they went 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. And I find the 0 a lot more surprising than the 6 times with runners in scoring position, because we've had a lot this year where the Orioles have blown runners in scoring position opportunities. We've had a lot of 1 for 11, 2 for 13 or something like that. But the fact they only had 6 opportunities with runners in scoring position, that's bad. That means you're not getting guys past first base. That's just
Yeah,
bad.
we had 2 extra base hits. We had a double from Santander, a double from Hayes. I don't know. It just seemed flat. I mean, you got an ace and Shane McClanahan on the mound, who honestly I didn't think looked as sharp as he usually does. He went 6 innings, 4 hits. He walked 4 guys, which is very Shane McClanahan esque. But still struck out 7. Still got 6 innings in, so it was still a quality start from him. But I thought that this would be a time where the Orioles could get to one of the better pitchers in the game. He just didn't seem as sharp. He put 4 guys on for free. 102 pitches through 6 innings. I feel like, honestly, in that situation, you had to hit McClanahan before the Rays bullpen took over, right?
Yeah, he definitely seemed vulnerable. The one pass I'll give the Orioles is that the day before they had just played that marathon of a game, right? What was it, 12 innings in Atlanta?
Right. Right.
And then and the fact that they had just come back from their longest road trip of the season. That was the thing. That road trip that ended in
Yeah.
Atlanta was their longest road trip of the season. It was what, 12 days, 10 games, something like that. Um, so I'll give the Orioles a little bit of a pass for coming out flat because I think they were just tired. Uh, but overall, was not a good way to start. Gave us a 3-game losing streak, which did not feel good. I don't know about you, Jack. I was sitting there after that going oh man, this gauntlet is going to kill us.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't even worried about it, though, to be honest, because, the Atlanta Braves, who arguably at the time that we played them were the hottest team in baseball, and then the Tampa Bay Rays, who are 20 games above 500 currently.
Yeah, and I think I was worried wow, maybe the Orioles are showing that they're not as good as we really think they are. And then game 2 happened. All right. Tuesday night, started off kind of typical for this Orioles team. They go down early and they start to fight back. I think this team when they get down, they really decide like, oh, now we got to wake up. So after giving up 1 run in the first inning, they would have a 3-run third inning that included a 2-run blast by Adley Rutschman that went onto Utah Street, his first Utah Street home run, by the way. I think it was like the 119th in Utah Street history. Grayson Rodriguez. Anytime you can say Adley Rutschman and Grayson Rodriguez in the same game had great games, that's music to our ears, right? So Grayson Rodriguez went 5 2/3, almost got through that 6th inning. Gave up a couple base hits. They decided to take him out. But 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and 4 Ks. And both runs that he gave up were off of solo home runs. So nothing that's super killer right there. Then to end the game, we got a inning and a third of Felix Bautista, who really scared me because he just could not locate, it seemed. He had 3 walks in the save attempt. 3 walks. But he did pull it together. He did get some base hits, double play, in order to get out of it and get that save. Any notes on game 2, Jack?
Gunnar Henderson hit a triple.
That's right.
Dude, he's one big game away from breaking out of it.
He's still simmering. He's still like at that point where it's like you can see like the hot streak is about to happen. It's just like not quite there yet. What I'm liking that we've seen this past week from Gunnar is he's being more aggressive. I think all season he's been very patient at the plate, which is why he's getting so many walks. But I think part of why he's being patient is he's afraid of messing up too much. And I think what they're probably telling him in that Orioles clubhouse is you got to start being more aggressive, because a lot of the pitches you're not swinging at, you might end up walking, but there was a pitch in there that you could have taken yard. There's a pitch in there you could have lined, into the gap. Start swinging at more pitches.
So there's a saying when you think about an approach when you're at the plate. There's a difference between passive versus patient. When you're a patient hitter, that means that you are waiting for your pitch and you will not miss that pitch. If there's a ball like, I don't know, outside half the plate on an 0-0 count, you take it, or a 1-1 count, you take it to get to the next one, to get to your pitch, right? But when you're passive, it seems like that's where Gunnar's at right now, is that you are taking your pitch in order to try and get on base. He's still getting on base. He walks a ton. But when you see a slash of, what is it, like 180-ish right now?
I think it's like 187 or something like that.
180 something, 3 something, 4 something. Like, he seems passive. He needs to get a little bit more aggressive, and you can still be patient, still take your walks, and still get on base. But I think he's just working on kind of figuring that out, as a lot of rookies do in their first year. So it's totally understandable. Sophomore slumps.
Dude is 21 year old.
Yeah,
21 years old.
Yeah, he just had his legal beer a couple months ago.
So he's going to be fine. He's just waking up more.
Another thing from this game, Zach Eflin, the Orioles got to a really good arm in this game. Zach Eflin was 4-0 with a sub-2 coming into the game, and the Orioles roughed him up for 4 earned. I had Eflin 5+ Ks in this game. Was really tight about that one. Anyways. But yeah, anytime you can get to an arm like Zach Eflin, especially for 4 runs through 6, it's a damn fine game. And then, Grayson Rodriguez holding it down and the bullpen making it interesting, which was funny. The bullpen walked 5 guys in 3 1/3.
Yeah.
Not great.
Not great.
Felix Bautista still, locked down the save. Didn't let up any runs. Made for an entertaining finish.
What you call entertaining, I call heart-stopping. It certainly made us nervous. But you know what? At the end of the day, when you look at the scorecard, all you see is dubs, right?
Yennier Cano had another good outing. 1 2/3. did let up a hit and had 2 Ks. So, the whip is slowly going up, but the ERA is not.
As we all knew he would. He is human. We'll talk about that in a second. We then went into game 3.
So I was in attendance for this one.
Oh, okay, you were there?
I was at the yard for this one.
All right, you want to talk? You want to take the lead on it then?
Yeah. So personally, and this was kind of the consensus of a couple of my buddies that I was there with. So this was a boring baseball game.
Well, it was a pitcher's duel, right? It was yeah. So
I found that when you are in the game, when you're on the field, whether it's coaching or playing, or I don't know, you're the ball boy, whatever. These kind of games are more fun to be a part of, but when you're watching them, especially in person or on TV, they kind of drag. Dean Kramer, though, was not dragging, and he twirled a gem. 6 innings, 4 hits, 4 Ks, only walked 2, no runs allowed. I want to say Dean's back, but prove it again that you can do it against another high-level team, and I'll say you're back, Dean, all right?
Well, he's got the Angels this week. So if he can do it against Mike Trout.
Could be good. I would love the classic Dean Kramer, Mike Trout matchup.
Oh, yeah. Who mark that on your calendars, right?
Yeah.
I kind of wonder, and this is just me spitballing, but I wonder, like with Dean, he had to get ready so fast for that baseball classic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he only pitched 1 game in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, the one.
So he did a lot of waiting around, whereas if he was at spring training, maybe he would have gotten into another couple innings like here or there throughout that time away from spring training. I wonder if the World Baseball Classic hurt him more than it helped him kind of gear up, because it seems like he's getting better now, but maybe he just had a slow start to the season. I don't know. I'm just wondering.
You know what's insane though is that he's 4-1.
Well, the Orioles get him runs.
Yeah,
not a lot in this game, but they get him runs.
It feels like that every start that he's been out there for that he loses, but he doesn't. If it's no decision,
just enough.
Yeah, I mean when they're blow up starts, they blow up, and he doesn't make it out the third, so he gets a no decision or a loss. But he only has 1 loss. So either there's a lot of no decisions going on, but he's got 4 wins, man.
Dean Kramer, known winner.
I was really impressed with how he attacked that Rays lineup. I mean, he just went right at guys.
Would you argue that this is probably the best start he's had all season? And I haven't even looked at the numbers to compare. Like he of course had that great start against the Nationals, but at the end of the day, that was the Nationals. This was the red hot Tampa Bay Rays, and he went out and did this to them. Would you argue that this was probably his best start of the season?
I think this is the sharpest that his stuff has looked, but I think that his gutsiest outing was against the Braves.
He did have a pretty gutsy outing against the Braves. You're right.
When he went 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned, 2 walks. So I think that the situation in Atlanta against the Braves was more high stress than the game against the Rays, even though it was a rubber match and a pretty big series for the O's. But this was his sharpest start. I don't know if I call it his best, but definitely his sharpest.
That's fair.
And then Austin Voth didn't look great.
No.
Danny Coleman looked good. And then Yennier Cano, who walks into Paypas, which was absolutely electric. Him walking into that song.
Yeah. I haven't. Awesome. I guess I haven't been there. I haven't seen him pitch in person yet.
Yeah, the ball is. I obviously wasn't sitting very close, but just like seeing him throw the baseball, just.
I'm interested to see him. I still have yet to see him pitch in person. I bet that is electric though when he comes in.
Yeah, On the Rays side of things, Wander Franco had a pretty good series against the O's. He's also just having a really good year in
I
general.
was gonna say Wander Franco being good. Surprise, surprise.
I'm so happy that he's good, just because like he had a ton of injuries, being the number one prospect in baseball for a while, and he kind of had like an underwhelming year last year. So I'm really happy for him that he's been able to have a really good start to his year.
No, that is good. Randy Rosarino. He was pretty quiet during the series, wasn't he? He struck out a good bunch in some high leverage situations.
He came in and pinch hit in this game in a really, really high leverage situation and struck out on 3 pitches.
You know, he was arguably, I would say, maybe like the hottest player in baseball for the first month and a half, and to shut him down is no easy task. And yet this Orioles pitching staff did it.
Yeah, the Rays were 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position in this game. They left 6 on base.
So the Orioles ended up winning this game 2-1, which meant that they won the series 2-1. They took 2 out of 3 from the Rays, which I left feeling great. I mean, the Rays' best record in baseball, like you said, 20 games over 500 right now. Absolutely awesome to see them do that. They got an off day on Thursday, and then they took on the Pittsburgh Pirates, who started off the season as one of the hottest teams in baseball, has struggled as of late. And we had game 1 Friday night, which included the introduction of the Birdbath, which we'll talk about in a bit. But this game was 1,000% the Cedric Mullins legacy game.
Oh, boy, was it.
I mean, first of all, he hit for the cycle, going single, triple, double, then home run in the 8th inning. In a high leverage spot, that home run, by the way.
Yeah.
3-run home run when the Orioles were only up by 1 run at that point. And so you give the team a 4-run lead going into the 9th inning. Let me tell you, Jack, I was there. And
saw you on TV a bunch.
Yeah, I got a lot of texts, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Yeah, I was going a little nuts there, but seeing Cedric Mullins run out on his own to center field after that home run to complete the cycle was just, I mean, chills, absolute chills.
Walk me through the emotions.
It was so first of all, he hits the home run, right? And you're just excited that he just hit a 3-run home run. The Orioles extend their lead. I'm going nuts. Everyone around us is going nuts. Water's going everywhere. Our buddy Seth, who is with me, it's funny because I need to take Seth to more Orioles games and have him wear his Cedric Mullins t-shirt, because he and I went to Cedric Mullins t-shirt night 2 years ago. And that was the game. On his t-shirt night, he hit 2 home runs, an RBI double, and a single, and he got a curtain call out of the dugout. And then Friday, Seth comes and he's wearing the Cedric Mullins t-shirt, and Cedric Mullins hits for the cycle. So I think the key is I just need to keep bringing Seth and have him wear his Cedric Mullins t-shirt. But he runs out on the field on his own. And I'm going like, wow, they're having him run out on his own because he just like got the team the lead in a pretty high leverage situation. That's pretty cool. And then I get a text from my dad going, wow, Cedric Mullins cycle. I had no idea. Jack. But here's the thing. And we'll talk about it a bit. I was in that Birdbath Splash Zone, right? There's a lot going on around you. You don't have, because it's right next to the bullpen, you don't have a good view of the scoreboard to keep track of everything. So I was sitting there, I was like, did he really get this? Okay, yeah, I remember him getting the triple. Okay, yeah. Oh, wow, he did. Oh, I guess that was a cycle. And then that's where you kind of like, you had a lot of people, I think a lot of people in that section too, because there was so much going on.
Yeah,
it was kind of the same thing. You saw a lot of people looking at their phones going like, oh my God, look at this. Look at
right.
We didn't see on the scoreboard. We couldn't see on the scoreboard that it was a cycle.
Yeah.
So it was kind of this moment of like, oh, that's neat. Oh, that's really neat.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a little bit on us. I think also that's a little bit on alcohol. But
the mountains blue. Mountains blue, Jimmy.
Mountains were blue. as was some Bud Light cans because Coors Light isn't sold everywhere. But it was no, it was neat. It was one of those, like, as it was happening, I was like, oh, that's neat, and then like afterwards you reflect on it, you're like, that's really cool. That is really, really cool. Also in this game, we got a great pitch outing from Kyle Bradish. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 6 Ks.
Stuff was looking
And
gross.
then I think the real like gem of a moment was Felix Bautista, who in the 9th inning, after Austin Voth was absolutely awful, came in with a 4-run lead, gave up a run, and left runners on the corners with no outs. And you're going like, oh no.
He is him.
Felix Bautista came in. He can't have 3 walks this time, right? Like, that just cannot happen. And what does he do, Jack? He strikes out 3 batters in a row. That place was electric. Every single time he got a strike, the whole place was going nuts.
25,000.
25,000 Friday night. It was an electric crowd. It was an electric atmosphere. Every single pitch, people were standing up. Really great crowd Friday night, and we'll talk a little bit more about that experience after we get through some of this stuff. Game 2. After the Orioles won that, by the way, 6-3. Game 2, we had yet another pitcher's duel. Started off great for the Orioles bats. Adley Rutschman had a solo shot in the 1st inning. Gunnar Henderson had a solo shot in the 2nd inning. Neat little stat there. That's the first time that they've homered off the same pitcher in the same game. So we hope to see more of that in the future with this team, right?
Interesting.
After that, nothing really happened. Tyler Wells, once again, looked amazing. 7 innings pitched, which I believe is a career high. And then he had 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. How about you, Tyler Wells? Jack, you and I were saying at the beginning of the season, well, Tyler Wells needs to go to the bullpen so Grayson Rodriguez can come up. Are you full from eating your words? Because I know I am.
Yeah, whatever.
It's okay. We can be wrong.
Yeah,
we can be
fine.
wrong.
We were wrong a lot.
We were
on our rosters, but
yeah.
Yanier
Cano did show that he is human. He gave up his first extra base hit, but did still give up no runs. And then Felix Bautista came in for the 2nd night in a row. He gave up 1 hit. I have a run on our notes. It was 1 hit, but he struck out the side still. That splitter looked like the splitter of old. His fastballs are up there in the hundreds again. His accuracy is no longer scary. Jack, is Felix Bautista back?
He never left. It just didn't. He never left, man.
I felt like he left a little
outings. He had 3 bad outings.
Yeah, he had great outings. He had good saves. I think for me it was just like he got wild. He was still getting results, but he got wild. And the past 2 times he came out, this Friday and Saturday, he didn't look wild.
Dude, he's got a 1.42. That's it. That's the statement. He never left. He is him.
He is him. He is him.
2-hour
and then
game.
we get to today.
2 hours and 4 minutes was that game. That's insane.
2 hours. Yeah, that was a quick game. I looked up, watching it from home. I looked up and I was like, "Oh, the game's over. I guess I should go to bed." And I was like, "Oh, it's 9 o'clock."
That's how long the game that I coached took. The 7-inning game. Insane.
Pitch clock, man, and pitcher's duel. Today's game, if we have to talk about it,
Mitch Keller masterclass.
Mitch Keller massacre of the Orioles. The Orioles struck out 17 times today, 13 times alone were against Mitch Keller. That's, I mean, good for Mitch Keller, but for the Orioles, that's bad. That's really bad. You can't do that.
Yeah. 0 for 6 in scoring position again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle
There's really
Gibson
not
on
much
top
to
of that.
say.
What's that?
There's not much to say about the offense. Like, they just got shut down. We had
They
one
did. They
extra
got
base
shut
hit.
down. Kyle Gibson was not on it. He gave up 4 runs in the first 2 innings. Only went I say only went 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks. So he settled down a little bit after that. But if you're gonna get shut down, you don't want to be giving up 4 runs early.
Bullpen looked really good, for what it's worth.
Who?
The bullpen.
Yeah, bullpen looked great. Bauman,
Perez.
Perez, and Voth combined for 4 innings pitched, 0 hits, 0 runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts.
That'll do it.
That's the silver lining. But
yeah, I mean, Mitch
Orioles...
Keller's been on a lot of prospect boards for basically ever since he got drafted. So, and he's been having a great year. He's 5-1 now with a 2.38. This was his best start of the year, behind his complete game shutout. But
I think the scarier thing for me is that the Orioles offense hasn't scored a run in 17 innings or 15 innings or something. It's like that. It's 15 innings. They haven't scored since inning 2 of the Saturday night game. So 15 innings without scoring a run.
1-1 in those games, though. So
yeah. But offense needs to pick it up a little bit. But let's focus a little bit on this Orioles pitching, Jack, because like we were saying, you and I both at the beginning of the season, we picked Tyler Wells to be the one going to the bullpen to make room for Grayson Rodriguez. Then he was in, and then he's I would say he's looking like the ace of the staff right now. The way he's pitching, he's pitching phenomenally. You suddenly have Dean Kremer, who's done well in his past 2 outings. Grayson Rodriguez looks like he's way more comfortable. Kyle Bradish, he's had a couple rough starts, but he's also looked good in his past 2 starts. And what the entire time, like the national media has said about the Orioles is, look out for their offense. If they got any pitching, they are going to be a contender. Well, it looks to me, Jack, like the pitching is there.
Yeah, the pitching is there if you think that a playoff caliber roster is a bunch of 3s, 4s, and 5s overproducing, excluding Grayson Rodriguez.
Well, so at what point do we say they're overproducing? Because we said they overproduced last year. They're overproducing this year. At what point do we just say they're producing?
Because it's just not sustainable. Like you think about Dean Kramer's year so far. He's had 3 good starts that you can think of. Other ones were meh to blow-ups. Kyle Gibson will give you either 7-8 innings with a bunch of Ks, or he'll give you 100 pitches over 4 innings and 4 earned. And then Wells is the only one who I think has been pretty consistent outside of his 1 start. Yeah. And then Bradish, same thing. Bradish is either completely on or he's completely off. There's no in between.
So are you saying to be a playoff caliber team? Because when I hear that, like when I'm looking at what the Orioles pitching has done, it is kind of like the just win series approach, right? Where they're kind of going out there and you'll get some inconsistent starts, but as long as your offense is able to pick you up enough, as long as you're getting enough quality starts around those less than quality starts, you're still going to win series. You're still going to pick up wins. But then the current concern would be once you get to October, will you get enough consistency to win playoff series?
Right. So
that's fair.
Let's do this. Here's a brain exercise for you.
Okay.
Pulled up all the postseason teams from last year, wild cards and all.
Mm-hmm.
let's start on the AL side. The Rays, they had a rotation of McClanahan, Rasmussen, and Glass now for the playoffs. Are you taking those three or Grayson, Bradish, and whoever else you want?
Well, I guess you'd have to take the Rays.
The answer is the Rays.
Yeah.
Phillies, Wheeler, Nola, and then Eflin at the time.
Yeah, you take the Phillies.
Take the Phillies. Padres, Snell, Darvish, Clevenger at the time.
You'd take the Padres. I don't know.
You see where I'm going with this, though, right?
I see where you're going. I think for me, I think the biggest thing with like how good this pitching has been is when we look at it, because the Orioles still have Cole Irvin, who got sent down to AAA. He's
Who
doing
might
well
not
in
come back up
AAA.
ever.
What's that?
He might
He might not come back
up.
ever. It's possible. But you still have DL Hall down there, right? DL Hall is going to come up some point. Who knows when? And then you still have John Means coming back in July. This rotation is going to get better.
No,
And
it definitely will. And I think that John Means, will come back and will be good. I don't want to say dominant. I'm going to say good to average. Average to slightly above average.
he'll be consistent, at least.
He'll be consistent. Probably, yeah. He'll probably be consistent. DL Hall, I'm pulling up his stats from 2023 minor. He's got a 3.29 across 27 and a third innings, where he's walked 14 guys and struck out 37. Yeah, he's starting, man. I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
If he can produce that, at the major league level, that would be good. John Means, same thing. Even that line for John Means would be great. John Means is a mid to low threes guy. DL Hall still improving, and then who else? Cole Irvin. Yeah,
Cole Irvin's been improving over his past couple starts in AAA.
Yeah, and okay. Orioles make a splash at the deadline, trade from our depth, and we go get a starting pitcher. We go get Dylan Cease, dude. Then I say, yeah, this is a playoff caliber rotation.
Okay, that's fair. No, I think that's the thing is, we're so backed up in the minors right now. And I know we talk about it every week. We're so backed up in the minors right now, and the way this team is playing
from the last week show how backed up we are.
Yeah. I mean, Luis Torrens.
How was that,
dude? Did you see today that he cleared waivers and elected for free agency, so he's not even going to Norfolk. So we went cash considerations to get a third catcher. He was on the team for 3 days, and then we DFA him. And when he clears waivers, he's like, "Nah,
no, I'm good."
I mean, what was that?
Yeah, that's a head scratcher.
Can you believe we gave up a high quality player like cash considerations? What was your favorite moment of the Luis Torrens era?
Probably when he warmed up a starting pitcher in the outfield before a game that one time.
Well, you know what? That's more than what I could remember. So good on you.
And then the Vespi move, right?
Yeah.
I
was so pumped. I was like, it's Nick Vespi season. I saw him in the bullpen Friday. I was pumped. And then they send him down and they bring up Joey Ortiz, which I think, to be fair, Joey Ortiz is here because McKenna's hurt. But I'm like, at how many days in a row does someone have to be hurt before you put them on the IL? And then he could have kept Vespi and Ortiz because they only have 12 pitchers right now.
Yeah, I would have given Vespi. What's McKenna's injury? Did he get hurt in the game on Friday?
His back. Night? He's got a sore back.
Okay, so I don't know.
But he's had that for I think 4 days now.
Give Vespi an inning while he's up?
at least, right?
I don't
Because
know.
he doesn't have many options left, right? I think that was his last option.
I think he's got one more.
One more. So you brought him up,
He,
didn't use him, and then sent him back down. So you wasted one of his
if he
options.
comes up, he has to stay or be DFA'd.
It feels to me like at that point, because, as we've talked about every week, Tate and Givens are coming. They're both pitching in AAA this week. They're coming. When they're here, room has to be made for them. Vesby's going to be back up. I have no doubt in my mind that Vesby is someone that belongs in a major league bullpen. It seems to
Hopefully
me
it
like we're heading
stays.
towards a Voth DFA.
Yeah, he's the most inconsistent on the staff for sure.
And then Aiken's already down in AAA, right? He went to AAA, and that's how they brought up Vesby the first time. So he's not going to be coming back, I don't think.
And you think when like Urias comes back, when he comes off the IL, then somebody else is gonna have to go. And then I think this leads into the next segment.
Yeah, I think we got to talk about this. We have got to talk about this because I don't know about you, Jack, but I came into the season as a big Kyle Stowers guy.
Yeah, I was too. I was really excited to see what everyday major league at bats would do for one of our highly touted prospects.
Which, to
Kyle
be fair, the
Stowers.
everyday at bats did not come.
No, they didn't.
I don't know what Kyle Stowers did to Brandon Hyde, but he never started him, and maybe for good reason based on the stats.
Well, in the times that he was in the game, he was well below average in the outfield. Well below average at the plate. Like if this is the Kyle Stowers floor,
it's in the basement. So just some numbers for reference. So Kyle Stowers right now has an 0.67 average with 0 home runs, 0 RBIs, and a 219 OPS. He is 0 for his last 16, and he's 2-30 on the season. He has 2 hits all season, Jack. 2 hits all season.
Yeah, not good.
Now here's my thing with Kyle Stowers is every time we send him down to AAA, he rakes. He absolutely rakes when he's in AAA. Because I think last time we sent him down, when we brought up Joey Ortiz for that week, he had like 5 home runs in that week, including a 3 home run game. He's too good for AAA, but he's not doing well in the majors. Is this just a quadruple A guy? And if so, what do you do with that?
I wonder if it's a mental thing.
I could see that.
I wonder if he's in his head and he's pressing to try and do too much to try and help a ball club that's doing really well.
Yeah, the pressure's on, especially, I mean, in a crowded outfield, the pressure is on to perform. If you're going to be in the game, you got to perform because someone's going to go at some point.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
because you got Kowser coming up, and right behind Kowser, you have Kjerstad.
And I mean, he's in an outfield that is starting to like click on all cylinders. Santander is slowly coming back. Cedric Mullins just hit for the cycle. Austin Hayes is having a really good year. And then there's Ryan McKenna.
Ryan McKenna has an over 300 batting average, by the way. Did you know that? I didn't realize that.
Because I don't like Ryan McKenna. I'm gonna say it.
I go back and forth on Ryan McKenna. I feel like Ryan McKenna is like the Ryan Flaherty of this team. Every single time Ryan Flaherty used to come up to bat for the Orioles back in the day, I would go, "Why is this guy on the team? He's not good." And then he would get an RBI, and I'd be like, "Well, now I'm eating my words."
That's kind of like what happened to us in like Tyler Wells, or like I still am not a full believer in Tyler Wells, but he keeps doing it.
He keeps doing it. So here's a question for you. My dad recommended this to me on the phone today. I was talking to him about Kyle Stowers. He said maybe we just send him down to AAA, let him rake at AAA, and then use him as trade bait.
Yeah, love it.
Because if he's going to struggle this much at the major league level, but he's going to rake that much at the AAA level, let him rake, and then say, "Hey, White Sox, you want this guy?"
I love it. I love that take.
I'm not saying it will happen. I'm not saying it has to happen. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Saying it'd be nice.
Yeah. Any other notes on Stowers before we move on?
No.
All right. Well, Jack, as we hinted at earlier, I was in the Birdbath Splash Zone for the inaugural Friday night Splash Zone.
That you were, Jim.
Would you like to hear how it was?
Sure.
You don't sound excited.
What you got sprayed with a hose? It was electric. That's
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I will say the atmosphere was exciting. The section was full. The section was jam packed. It was full. The way they set it up was you have a Mr. Splash. Guy wears a uniform, says Mr. Splash on the back, and then when the Orioles get extra base hits, he sprays a hose into the crowd. He's wearing floaties and a flamingo like tube thing, which is pretty cool. I'd give the whole experience a 7 out of 10. I think the crowd gets really into it. I think that it's fun to be there. There's a lot of hype around it. I did get some people who tweeted at me that they were sitting in the back of the section and they weren't getting any of the waterworks. So they were a little disappointed with that. I think a lot of people too were kind of looking at it going, it's just a guy with a squirt gun. I will give this. I don't know how you become Mr. Splash, but the guy that is Mr. Splash, I give him a 10 out of 10.
So
he was awesome.
I've had controversy about this on whether Mr. Splash was employed or was a volunteer. My personal take is that he was a volunteer. There was a long list of people who applied to volunteer for this job, and we got our guy, Mr. Splash.
Here's my guess. My guess is that they have multiple people that are the bird. My guess is this is a guy that is one of the birds.
It's possible.
That's my guess. I'll say this also. Mr. Splash was having a hard time with a megaphone they gave him like midway through the game. He couldn't get it to work, and he was like, "I don't need a megaphone. I'm going to keep going." I'm telling you, if he's doing this every night, he's going to need a megaphone pretty soon.
Yeah, it should be every Friday night.
He's there, like he was great for Friday night, but I was curious if people in the back of the section could hear him as he was shouting. And then I'm curious, like by today, like does he still have a voice? Because he had us every inning doing the ORIOLES chant. He was shouting stuff throughout the entire time. He had more than a hose, by the way. He did have some pool toys, so he filled up those tube things that you push and it sprays water out. He would fill up a bucket occasionally and throw it into the crowd. So I will say Mr. Splash 10 out of 10. The Splash Zone as a whole, I think they have some kinks to work out, but it was their first weekend doing it. So it's a 7 out of 10 right now, but can get better. I will say the coolest part, Jack, was that when we did it, the first time when Cedric Mullins had that triple in the fifth, which was the first extra base hit that we got, the entire bullpen like walked out of the bullpen to like look up and watch it, and that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. So if you're planning on going to the Birdbath Splash Zone, I would recommend, if you want to get more wet, sit closer to the front of the field. And if you want to be on TV a bunch, sit closer to the bullpen side, because they have a camera right behind Mr. Splash that's pointed up at the section, and that's the Birdbath splash cam or whatever. So that's how I ended up on TV a bunch, is I was sitting right in direct line of that camera. So if you're planning on doing the Birdbath, that's where, if that's what you're looking for, take that advice. But overall, fun time. What that means for us, as we were planning our own Splash Zone event for May 30th, Jack, this is what I think we do. I think we no longer make it a Splash Zone event, and I think instead how we advertise May 30th, because I know a lot of people have gotten their tickets and things like that. I think we make it an Orioles Twitter and podcast meetup. And so if you are a fan of any of the Orioles podcast or Twitters, if you yourself are an Orioles podcaster or part of Orioles Twitter, come out. Everyone go to the same game, meet people that you interact with online on a daily basis. And let's just, have a really loud section. Again, we're doing sections 96, 98 out in center field. It's Tuesday, May 30th. That's $10 bleacher seats. I mean, $10 to go see one of the best teams in baseball right now. You can't beat that deal. Jack, are you
And we're right
excited for May
next to the
30th?
center field bar.
Right next to that center field bar. Absolutely. So that's what we're going to do for that May 30th event.
It's going to be a good time.
Go ahead.
No, it just shows it's going to be a good time.
Absolutely. Jack, real quick before we look forward to the week ahead and then get out of here. What did you think of the leaked Orioles City Connect jerseys?
I have no comments until it is confirmed.
I hope it is not confirmed. I saw someone on Twitter was saying that the Orioles put up on their board that it was that those weren't the jerseys. I have no confirmation on that. I just saw one person post that on Twitter, so nothing to confirm if that's legit or not.
Good.
To me, they looked boring. I mean, just black jerseys that say Baltimore.
Yeah.
Can't even say Charm City.
What were the Reds? Just said Cincy.
It said Cincy, but at least Cincy is a nickname for Cincinnati.
Yeah, true.
Because what do our away jerseys say, Jack?
Baltimore.
They say Baltimore. And they say Baltimore in better text because it's that cursive text. To just have block text that says Baltimore on a plain plain black jersey.
Yeah. Yeah.
My thing is you have cool ones like San Diego where they have the different colors and they have like the skyline on it and stuff like that. You have cool ones like the Braves. I love the Braves, the throwback to the Hank Aaron era. Like, come on, put some effort into it. So I'm upset if that is the design. I'm hopeful that is not the design.
I don't think it will be.
I really hope it's not.
I really hope
if it's not, I think that whoever did that had a really good fake.
Yeah.
Congratulations, because it looked very legit.
So what we got? What we got on deck?
All right, we got a couple games this week. Some exciting stuff. There are 4 games against the Angels starting tomorrow, which has a great pitching matchup to start us off. We got Shohei Ohtani going up against Grayson Rodriguez. Jack, how you feeling about that one?
It's going to be a good one.
I think that's really exciting. I don't know that we win that one, but I think for Grayson Rodriguez, it's an exciting thing. I think it's an exciting matchup. I wanted to go to that game. Unfortunately, I can't because of work. But it's still going to be a good series, I think. I am going Tuesday night. That's my annual birthday. That's the closest game I could go to, closest to my birthday. So I always try to go to a game around then. So I'm excited for that. I did that, by the way, Jack. Did you get the $50 or 50% off because of the Cedric Mullins cycle? They did a flash sale, 50% off.
No, I didn't.
Mm.
It was too late. I was doing stuff.
Here's what I do every time they do those flash sales. If I have tickets for a game, I take advantage of the flash sale for that game, and then I exchange my tickets that I had for another game. That's how I get more games, and that's how I save money.
You get it.
I actually don't know if I'm saving money or not. I haven't done the math, but that's what I tell myself I'm doing. There's also after we finish off that 4-game series. Oh, big news, Jack. Before I move on from that series, AJ or Little Man, creator of that Cedric Mullins again.
He gonna be there?
Landed in Baltimore today.
Is he going tomorrow?
He is going. I believe he's going to the whole series.
Oh.
And Cedric Mullins retweeted his tweet that he was landing in Baltimore with a lot of excitement. So this Cedric Mullins like AJ moment that's about to happen, I am so pumped for it. I am so excited for that.
Dude, that's gonna be good. I like it.
Then the Orioles, they have a 3-game series in Toronto. I'm going to be interested how that series goes, knowing that Toronto is hot right now. I mean, they just swept Atlanta, but also just the rivalry that has crept up in recent years between Baltimore and Toronto. I'm interested in how that's going to go. If it's going to be a pretty intense series, if Brian Baker moonwalks against the Blue Jays, how much of a hissy fit are they going to throw, and our bench is going to clear?
Hopefully it's chippy. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I hope so. We do have a question sitting here in the comments, Jack, if we'd like to answer this. Was
Brady.
Brady,
What's
typical
up?
Brady. Was Mateo's month of April a fluke, or is his struggles in May so far just a slump?
Let me pull up his monthly splits.
He's not doing well in May. I know that.
So, Jorge Mateo was going nuclear in the month of April. If you know me, the show player, you know he got a monthly awards card. Yeah, I mean, he's already accumulated 1.5 wins above replacement. His average is all of a sudden down to 264 when it was well above 300 like at the end of April. Numbers say it's a fluke. His last 28 days, he's batted 214, 243, 400 for a 643 OPS. Not good, Jimmy.
It's not good. I for one am a Jorge Mateo believer. I think everyone goes through slumps. I mean, Adley went through an 0 for 19. Just a week or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that Jorge Mateo is as good as his April was? No. I think there is a little bit of flukiness. I think it's all going to average out. I think he's a streaky player. I think he's going up against better pitching right now too. But I think it's all going to average out. He's gonna heat up again at some point. And at the end of the day, we said last year, if Jorge Mateo hits like 230, he's going to be a dangerous, really good player.
Yeah. I mean, he's still helping the team.
Yeah. I've said all along, I feel like he is the guy that's going to bridge the gap until 2025 when Jackson Holiday comes up. I think he's here for a couple years. And I've always liked him. He's an electric player. Yes, he's streaky. Yeah, I think April was a little bit of a fluke, but I think he has worked hard at improving this year. I think there's been a lot of good analysis on how he's improved this year. So yeah, he's struggling right now, but every player struggles. So
Yeah.
I think he'll pick it up again soon.
So a really cool stat that Baseball Reference has on their just kind of splits is what a guy's batting average is the second time through a lineup.
Okay.
Jorge Mateo, the first time through the lineup, has a 250 batting average, 719 OPS. So he bats eighth usually, right? That's where he spends most of his games.
Eighth or ninth, yeah.
Second time through the order against a starting pitcher, he bats 464, 448, 857. So
and that makes sense too, because if he's hitting well and he's batting towards the end of the lineup, that means he's by the second time he's at bat, it's getting close to the third time through the order. So he's seeing pitchers as they have more pitches, that sort of thing.
So when the Orioles chase a starter, like pretty early in the game, and he doesn't really get the chance to see the starter again, like for a third time, rather, excuse me.
Yeah, that's true.
Like his batting average decreases, and when he faces relievers, he only bats 175.
So what's the solution? Because here I have always liked
There's
Jorge.
there's no solution. It's just unfortunate.
Well, because that's my thing is I always like the combination of Jorge Mateo at ninth because I like if he gets on, then you have Cedric Mullins leading off. I like that speed combo. I've always liked that. But if you're saying like he hits better second time through the order, third time through the order, is the solution to just move him up in the lineup?
I mean,
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
maybe
up for
like
the Heidster, I
he
guess.
feels like a 2-hole guy. But I mean,
Yeah.
also having a second leadoff hitter is nice too. He's still doing well. He's overperforming. He's got a 790 OPS, 117 OPS plus, where the league average is 100. So
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a regression. We all knew he wasn't as good as he was showing in April, but I think he is better than what he's doing right now. I think he's in a slump right now.
it happens. It's baseball.
Yeah, that is baseball. All right, Jack, any final words of wisdom before we get out of here today?
No.
All right. Well, shout out to Ashley for coming home. Shout out to the Deep Creek crew. I'm going to see you on Thursday. Everyone have a good week. Look for us at the yard. Like I said, I'm going to be there Tuesday.
I will also be there Tuesday.
You'll be there Tuesday?
I will.
All right. Well, we'll see each other there Tuesday. You all should see us on Tuesday. And let's go O's. Woo! You've been listening to UPod Street, an Orioles podcast by fans for fans. UPod Street is an official Birdland Sports affiliate. Directly support the pod by purchasing UPod Street or other Orioles merchandise using the link birdlandsports.com/UPod Street. Get 10% off your order when you use the code UPod Street. Follow us on Twitter @UPod Street and @JackBain20. UPod Street is also on Facebook and YouTube, and you can listen to the show on all major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Spotify. On whatever platform you listen, please subscribe, rate the pod, and leave a review. If you leave a review, we may even read it on the show. We'll see you next week, and of course, let's go O's.